Tonight, the countdown Hollywood doesn't want us to see. From stars getting high.
Completely gone.
I had a love affair with cocaine.
Off the rails.
Who saw that one coming?
To careers crashing down.
How embarrassing.
Cry for help.
And they ruined his career.
We've got scandals that made us laugh.
This was nothingness like you wouldn't believe.
Certainly is.
And tragedies that made us cry.
Saddest story you'll get out of Hollywood.
There's so many unanswered questions.
Good evening and welcome to 20 to 1, Hollywood's biggest scandals. Now, we're used to celebrities like Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan and Paris Hilton dominating the headlines with every stupid thing they do. But tonight we won't be seeing them. No, we're counting down Hollywood's biggest scandals. And on the way, big screen careers will be ended, stars jailed and lives lost. But which scandal made the most headlines, shocking Hollywood and the world? Okay, let's kick off the countdown with the sex for money scandal that threatened to destroy some very big names.
Well, Hollywood is bracing itself for one of its most damaging sex scandals ever. It centres around a court appearance by a woman who's been dubbed the Madam to the Stars.
Well, Heidi Fleiss was the story that shocked the world.
I mean, she proudly was the Hollywood Madam.
Providing women for men at inflated prices, very important service.
Allegedly, Heidi ran a $5 million vice ring, with girls charging up to $1,500 an hour.
That was until she was arrested in 1993 and the police got hold of her little black book.
What has Hollywood all a Twitter is not what Fleiss did or did not do for a living, but whom she did it for.
Some people say that you're the most powerful woman in Hollywood because of what you know. How many men out there should be scared?
There's a lot of rich and powerful men in LA, isn't there?
Yeah?
They should be scared.
I think when all of these famous faces became associated with this story and it hit the media, I think she was always going to go down in flames.
Fleiss was eventually convicted of tax evasion and served 3 years in prison, while most of her customers walked away free of charge.
I found it extraordinary that it was poor Heidi who ended up in jail and not all of her clients.
She said she had the little black book and not many names got revealed from that little black book, did they?
She would have burnt that book. She's not mucking around. Hollywood is a small town.
Rumours spread quickly about which Hollywood heavyweights were in Heidi's little black book. In the end, only Charlie Sheen was named, but perhaps not Shane.
Hey, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
Well, I would have been disappointed if his name wasn't in the book. I think Charlie Sheen would have rung up and said, I'm sure I went there as well. Come on.
I just got tired of going out. I got tired of the paparazzi. So it was based on convenience.
Charlie Sheen copped the worst of it, but Charlie Sheen was not on his own. One day, that little black book will be revealed.
Come fly with me, we'll fly with...
At number 19, it's legendary entertainer Frank Sinatra and his alleged links to the mafia.
Sinatra and his mafia connections were such an open secret.
Let's say you're right. Let's say you're absolutely right.
He had connections. God bless you, Frank.
And the FBI thought so too, given Sinatra had the largest file of any entertainer in US history.
Frank Sinatra grew up with the mafia. Look where he lived.
The guy grew up in New Jersey, in Hoboken, and it's a really rough area where, you know, these guys were the real sopranos running the show.
My dad grew up with gangsters next door and in the same apartments. I mean, he was living with them.
It also came through his years in Las Vegas, where, you know, the mob were very much running the show way back when.
It's even reported that old Blue Eyes used his mafia connections to land his Oscar-winning role in From Here to Eternity.
Just hate to see a good guy get it in the gut.
And the character of aspiring entertainer Johnny Fontaine in The Godfather was allegedly based on Sinatra.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. All right.
Was. How much longer are they going to be crucified?
Going straight to video at number 18 is Rob Lowe's sex tape that put the brakes on his career.
I could be the poster boy for bad judgment.
This was 1988, and it was the first of the big sex video. You know, forget Paris Hilton, forget Pamela Anderson, Rob Lowe was it.
In the 80s, Rob Lowe had it all. Fame, fortune, and millions of female fans the world over.
He was my pin-up boy. I loved Rob Lowe.
Don't you give up on me.
Until...
A love tryst in a hotel room said to involve him, a 22-year-old woman, and a 16-year-old girl.
At that point, I didn't realize that it would be played out in a public forum to the extent it has.
By morning, the young women were gone, and so was the videotape.
He thinks he's doing them. He makes this video, he's going to keep it for his own enjoyment. They swipe it, they go off and release it.
He should not have been having sex with a minor. He probably should not have been filming it, but the girls set him up and they ruined his career.
He didn't realise one of the girls was only 16 years of age because he met her in a bar.
How about we cut out of here?
Well, yeah, but I came with some girlfriends.
No, he met her in a place where you got to be over 18 to enter.
I just want to get to know people. I don't want to know, what's your mother's maiden name? How old are you?
He's just got the most beautiful, angelic face. It's hard to believe, you know, that he can be such a naughty, naughty, naughty boy.
It was a low point for the actor who was forced out of Hollywood for 10 years before climbing back.
Welcome to 1969.
It always surprises me when anyone in the public eye thinks it's a good idea to film themselves having sex.
We, of course, know of golfers and tennis players who videotape their game to improve their performance.
So what are you saying? I need improvement?
Videotape can get a lot of people in trouble.
OK, next we turn to the comic genius who had a hit of a very different kind and didn't live to tell the tale.
It wasn't my fault, I swear to God!
Creating even bigger headlines at number 17 is the sudden and shocking death of crazy comedian John Belushi.
Comedy actor John Belushi died today in Los Angeles.
Belushi was found at Hollywood Chateau Marmont, having overdosed on a lethal combination of cocaine and heroin.
John Belushi? Overdose? Who saw that one coming?
You're taking heroin and cocaine, so you're taking an upper and a downer. But I would have thought that would have just cancelled everything out. So you're risking your life to feel normal.
Maybe he had a heart attack. Holy shit!
John Belushi was a brilliant comic talent.
Saturday Night Live made him huge.
Saturday Night Show was the best experience of my life.
Animal House, he was in. All teenage boys watched that. But Blues Brothers made him huge.
We're putting the band back together.
And then, tragically, OD'd.
On the night of his death, Belushi had been partying with Robin Williams, Robert De Niro, and friend Kathy Smith.
They were probably just having a cup of tea, weren't they? And then Kathy Smith turned up with some scones.
Police investigation concluded that the cocaine and heroin injection which killed him was accidental.
However, 2 months later, an interview appeared in the National Enquirer with Kathy Smith,
claiming she injected him with the fatal dose of drugs. The Los Angeles District Attorney asked that the investigation be reopened.
And she ended up doing time for that. She had to go away for manslaughter for a little period there. Just a tragic, tragic story, really.
He used to be on a mission from God. Now he lives with him.
Hollywood gets even more scandalous after the break.
Sure, I had a lot to do with it.
What? Pretty unforgivable.
The less people to know about this, the better.
He did the wrong thing.
And I paid for it.
He's willing to pay. I'm willing to take my clothes off.
What was she thinking?
She must take a lot of vitamins.
Oui.
This program brought to you by CUA. Check out the CUA difference at cua.com.au.
A new discovery.
This could be a real opportunity. Opportunity for what? A massive infection?
A new test for Charlie.
Show her that she can depend on you.
And a brand new episode for you.
Stay right here. Let me take care of you.
Mean it?
Oh, man, do I have to mean it, too?
Brand new Adults Only 2.5 Men. Tonight, 8:30, then Underbelly Uncut on 9.
Looking for a new car? Test drive a CUA car loan today. Get your cash from CUA before you buy. I hear they're going very fast. Check out the CUA difference at cua.com.au or call 133 CUA. It might just be a change for the better.
Connor Meade has broken a lot of hearts.
Beautiful.
But there's one he wishes he hadn't.
Ginny Parati.
Connor Meade.
This year.
Tonight you're going to be visited by 3 ghosts.
Whoa. First Love.
Look how cute you
were, gets a second chance.
She was always supposed to be with me.
Ghosts of girlfriends past.
I got ghosts in my bedroom. Oh, no, no.
What's freedom?
Freedom is sleeping in.
Dancing in public. Wearing whatever I want.
Freedom is having options.
And with Medibank My Options, I get to play more on the extras I want.
So I can get more dental or more optical.
And if I join by June 15, I can choose a gift voucher from up to 40 retailers.
Woo! To join or switch, visit Medibank or call 132 331.
I feel better now.
Before you know it, long baths will be replaced by quick showers, and a girl will be more interesting than a ducky. But right now there are bubbles and laughter. Because for 50 years, Johnson's Baby No More Tears has been as gentle to eyes as pure water. Pure, mild, gentle Johnson's Baby No More Tears makes bath time the best time. So enjoy every minute. It goes by so fast. Johnson's Baby, 50 years of no more tears.
Do you sometimes feel as if your kids are from another planet? They love everything you don't, can never quite grasp the meaning of peace and quiet, and seem to have boundless energy. Fortunately, there's something we think you'll both see eye to eye on. McDonald's Happy Meals. Your kids love them, and now with our range of healthier options, you can too.
There's absolutely nothing like the smell of toast in the morning. That's why I make sure I get to Woolies and get a fresh loaf first thing. Nice creamy butter and some honey. The honey, I steal that. And none too pleased this morning.
Welcome back to 20 to 1, Hollywood's biggest scandals. At number 16, it's a shocking, grisly, senseless crime that still alarms us today.
To many, it was the crime of the decade, a murder spree so vicious, even now, the memories are still vivid.
This is one of the great horror stories of Hollywood.
I mean, you wouldn't write this in a horror movie.
Number 16, it's the night cult leader Charles Manson's followers unleashed hell on Hollywood, brutally murdering actress Sharon Tate and 5 others.
Sharon Tate was a very beautiful movie star in the 60s, married to the up-and-coming European director Roman Polanski.
She was a talent on the rise when she was murdered at 26.
On a hot August night in 1969, part of the Manson family carried out what the prosecutor later called the most horror-filled hour of murder in American criminal history.
It's just beyond imagining.
They kept Sharon until last to make her suffer. She was 8.5 months pregnant.
But her greatest picture she was doing was her pregnancy. I never seen a woman more preoccupied with it.
I don't think anyone can think of anything worse.
Manson wasn't at the Tate house on the night of the murder, but he did instruct several cult members to carry it out.
You had nothing to do with the Sharon Tate killings?
Sure, I had a lot to do with it.
A life snuffed out for some mindless kind of reasons that we'll never really understand.
This is no dream. This is really happening.
Roman Polanski makes another appearance in the countdown, this time at number 15, for allegedly raping a 13-year-old girl and then fleeing the country.
I have not much to tell you, except that I'm innocent.
Roman Polanski had come to America to direct films. He'd been very, very successful in Europe, and suddenly he was the man most likely in Hollywood.
But overnight, it all came crashing down.
Polanski was 43 when he persuaded a woman he knew to let him photograph her 13-year-old daughter for a French men's magazine. First, there were topless photos in a hot tub. Then there was sex.
The girl tells the mother, she immediately tells the authorities.
A day later, the director was arrested, accused of rape, despite his protests.
Roman Polanski is history.
I know now it was not the right thing to do.
Pretty unforgivable, though, 13.
He pled guilty to having sex with a minor and served 42 days of a psychiatric evaluation in prison.
I pleaded guilty and I paid for it.
But the judge didn't agree.
A bewildered Polanski was suddenly ordered back to prison again by a judge who threatened to keep him there indefinitely.
And then he ran away.
And he ran to France and Poland, where he can't be extradited back to the United States.
Whether it be 2 weeks ago or 40 years ago, he did the wrong thing, and he has never ever paid for it.
Beautiful.
At number 14, it's the beautiful Bond girl, Caroline Cossey. What's the scandal in that? Well, she was actually a he.
Dude, pretty hot dude. Not that I'm into dudes.
Barry Kenneth Cossey is what happened here. Born in 1954, and yes, he was a star in For Your Eyes Only. The problem was, he was Caroline Cossey at this stage.
So let's get this straight. He went from a Bazza to Kazza.
The less people to know about this, the better.
For Your Eyes Only. Wee.
Male Caucasian. Hair, fine, light brown.
And nobody knew that there was a point of difference about her, or maybe the point of difference had been removed.
8 years after her appearance in For Your Eyes Only, News of the World revealed her shocking secret.
Caroline was the girl in the Smirnoff ad and a Bond girl in For Your Eyes Only.
It's a very, very good tuck behind if you can fool James Bond.
That's him. That's our man.
Right.
And she divulged a whole lot more for Hugh Hefner's Playboy 2 years later.
My body has cost me quite a bit, and if he's willing to pay, I'm sort of willing to take my clothes off.
1, 2, 3, 4, we are what you stop for.
Ramping up the scandal meter at number 13 is 60s sex symbol Jane Fonda, who shocked America by siding with the enemy during the Vietnam War.
This was an absolute scandal when the American movie star that everybody loved, she was a little bit of a sweetheart, she was Henry Fonda's daughter, the famous family.
She went over to Vietnam, and instead of just saying, let everybody be peaceful, she went and sat on top of an anti-aircraft gun aimed at people from her country. What was she thinking?
Perhaps she wasn't thinking. Fonda wanted to protest America's involvement in the war, but many felt she went too far when she posed on artillery used to shoot down American planes.
You know, he was a true star of the time, going into enemy territory and mocking her own countrymen who were losing their lives in a very, very vicious battle.
And boy, she wasn't liked for it.
I think most people these days say it was a terrible war and it should never have happened. But there's a way of saying that without actually turning everybody against you.
In fact, she could have been tried for treason. It wasn't long before she realised the seriousness of what she'd done.
That was a thoughtless and careless thing to have done.
She has apologised profusely again and again and again.
I will go to my grave regretting that. It was the largest lapse of judgment that I can even imagine.
After the break, you'll be shocked by what you see and hear.
Well, what did she get for the 5,000? Hang on! Are those bullet holes? Clearly.
You're saying you're all crazy.
I married him. Why did you do it?
I don't know.
See?
Spare me.
Wednesday, in a stunning new episode, the perfectly plotted Hollywood whodunit.
I'm Marilyn.
Fame, fortune,
10 million.
and a deadly twist.
Tell us the truth.
My work is always true.
There's a little afternoon soap in there.
All new The Mentalist, Wednesday, 8:30 on 9.
Are you buying your first home and need an intelligent home loan? Well, CUA reckon they've got the smartest home loans for first home buyers. You better write this down. Check out the CUA difference at cua.com.au or call 133 CUA. It might just be a change for the better.
Look, Colgate 360 Deep Clean with long, slim tip bristles.
So?
Her blue tips are super thin. She gives a deeper whole mouth clean.
Colgate 360 Deep Clean. Teeth, tongue, cheeks and gums for a healthier whole mouth clean. Colgate, recommended by Australian dentists.
There's absolutely nothing like the smell of toast in the morning. That's why I make sure I get to Woolies and get a fresh loaf first thing. Nice creamy butter and some honey. The honey, I steal that. They're none too pleased this morning.
Ingham Tasty Chicken Kievs, made with 100% Australian breast. Perfect.
But what if you're one of those people who don't like chicken?
You do have a very real and strange problem, and people will know that. We can help you hide your embarrassing disorder. For instance, try this highly effective water cooler conversation tip.
I like your shoes. Of course I love chicken.
Because if you don't like chicken, there is something very wrong with you.
So you got Foxtel, mate? It's just more of the same, isn't it?
Are you kidding me? Foxtel's got all the good stuff. Awesome comedies, educational stuff for the little guy, great live sport, and the missus loves the cooking shows. Oh, there'd be the scones. Jam and cream?
That'd be delightful, Graham.
All the good stuff's on Foxtel, with free installation, free first month of our premium value package and a 12-month plan. Call 131 787.
Nissan are ending the financial year with a drive, a sales drive. You could drive off in a sporty Navara D22 STR 4x4 from just $39.90 for ABN holders. Or how about a compact crossover, the 08 Dualis ST option with 5-star ANCAP safety and alloys from $28,990 drive away. Plus, your business could be eligible for the 30% investment allowance. See your Nissan dealer now.
Get your car on the road. Keep it there. Just car.
Win a Top Gear track day with a Stig for you and two mates, flying all the way over to the UK. And go in a draw to win a Navman S100. So grab a specially marked Pepsi Max and you could win. The Stig is waiting.
Tonight, 8:30, new adults only 2.5 Men. 9:30, the brilliant first series of Underbelly. Then Gordon's back in new Hell's Kitchen.
Welcome back to 20 to 1, Hollywood's biggest scandals. If you were up to something scandalous and missed the start of tonight's show, then here's a quick peek at what you missed. At number 20, superstars and Hollywood hookers. At 19, did Sinatra stand by Standover Men? At number 18, Rob Lowe gets even lower. At 17, Belushi lived fast and died young. Number 16 is Sharon Tate's shocking and senseless death. At number 15, the film director and the underage girl. At 14, a Bond girl with more than meets the eye.
The less people to know about this, the better.
At number 13, Americans became less fond of Jane.
I will go to my grave regretting that.
And at number 12, it's one of Hollywood's most talented actors with an even greater talent for self-destruction.
You know, I have been called the menace to society. I'm going to incarcerate you in a way that's very unpleasant for you.
I don't need a discussion on the finer points of morality. Spare me!
At number 12, it's Robert Downey Jr., whose multiple drug arrests almost put him out of the picture forever.
In any scenario, there has to be a bad boy, and in Hollywood, it happens to be Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. just went off the rails.
Hi. Downey was one of Hollywood's up-and-coming actors with the world at his feet. But it all went off course when he was pulled over on Sunset Boulevard in 1996.
Deputies arrested Downey after they searched his car and found crack and powder cocaine, heroin, and an unloaded .357 Magnum.
I mean, that's just huge. That is hardcore stuff.
I had a really serious, sick love affair with cocaine.
And it was a love affair that ended up in bed. His neighbour's bed, in fact.
The strange man in my child's bed.
There is a strange man in your home?
Yes. He seems to have passed out in my child's bed.
I would assume the low point as a drug addict is when you're arrested drunk in your neighbour's bed.
You imagine walking home and Robert Downey Jr.'s in your bed, completely gone.
To me, he just seems deeply asleep.
I just really would love to wake up and know where the hell I am for once. It'd be a nice change of pace for me.
In total, Downey has served over 5 years of jail time, probation orders and compulsory treatment for his addiction.
He's fessed up, he's done the time, he's been caught again and done the time, been caught again.
You understand all of those terms and conditions, Mr. Downey?
And done the time.
With 2 successful movies in 2008, it seems Downey is back on the straight and narrow.
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
And the only hits he has now are of the box office variety.
And then the helicopter crashed in front of me.
At number 11, it's the on-set helicopter crash that killed actor Vic Morrow and 2 children.
How many of us as kids watched Vic Morrow in combat and then the guy gets killed making Twilight Zone the movie?
Yeah, I know.
That was a stunt gone wrong. They were told that there was a lot of risks involved, but the director, John Landis, apparently wanted this shot.
You're insane. You're all crazy.
Landis and 4 others were tried for involuntary manslaughter.
Nobody seemed to have any responsibility.
And amazingly, all 5 were acquitted.
Someone should have been culpable for manslaughter there.
It must have been somebody's fault.
Nobody should be put in that situation. I think it was just devastating.
Despite the controversy, the film was released in 1983.
And it still does my head in to this day that they released that film.
Can't believe it, you know? I can't.
See? Hollywood's messed up. End of story.
At number 10, let's go shopping with a movie star who knows a bargain when she steals one.
Where'd you get that dress?
Oh, I don't know, I just bought it.
Entering the top half of our countdown is Winona Ryder, a highly paid Hollywood starlet who was caught shoplifting.
Winona Ryder's shoplifting. Oh, come on, does she have enough attention?
Why, Winona? Why did you do it? I don't get it.
The answer is, I don't know.
You've seen the video. It is her. She can't say, that wasn't me.
How embarrassing.
She was caught with $5,500 US worth of designer clothes.
That's one Ugg boot in America.
Along with prescription drugs.
Who does that and thinks that they can get away with it, especially if you're Winona Ryder?
Cry for help. Cry for help.
She's a kleptomaniac.
What?
Didn't she claim she was doing it for a role?
Oh, own up to it. Come on. That's pathetic.
You are not crazy. And what's wrong with me?
But she paid a high price for the episode.
She'll pay $18,000 in fines as well. The judge also ordered her to do 480 hours of community service.
She did it for the thrill, and she got busted.
I know that.
And we're still doing jokes about it 700 years later.
Stop, okay? Just stop.
Let it go. We should let it go. It's our fault now.
Coming up, there's more to hide as we expose Hollywood's biggest scandals.
This was nothingness like you wouldn't believe.
Certainly is.
What's that about?
Did you mean that as an insult?
Lots of confusion.
You can't think of that now.
Spectacular.
I like it.
10 designers from across Australia. Can they renovate 2 entire homes?
In just 5 days.
Meet Leonie, a feisty designer determined to make her mark.
Once in a lifetime.
And Jason, he's given up modelling, but will the gamble pay off? And flight attendant Annie,
The novice.
with her first ever design job.
That could be the winner.
They're all competing in TV's biggest renovation competition ever. Homemade, Sunday 6:30 on 9.
Boys need protein for growth and muscle development. Nutri-Grain is one of the highest protein cereals. So as part of a balanced diet and regular exercise, Nutri-Grain has what it takes to help build your son into an Iron Man.
Thanks, Mum.
Nutri-Grain, Iron Man food.
Working with your hands can be hard on them. Skin becomes dry, rough and tight. Neutrogena Norwegian Formula Hand Cream transforms even the driest, roughest hands into touchably soft, smooth hands. Norwegian Formula Hand Cream. Neutrogena.
To get Freeview with 5 more channels, including a 24-hour sports channel, you'll need a high-definition set-top box or digital TV. If you don't have one, see your nearest retailer for Freeview endorsed products. If you do have one, you're ready to go. Freeview. More for free.
Get unlimited downloads from the Nokia Music Store when you buy the touchscreen Nokia 5800. Comes with music.
Hey, babe, can we grab a coffee? It's over. I thought that was going to be harder. Wait, yeah. It's just pole dancing. It's not stripping. Do you remember that video we made? It's gone viral. It's a rash, and I don't know where I got it. I have an idea. Mum's moving in with us. Is that a lot of hits? I'm pregnant. Look at you go. I think it's your dad's. Babe.
Hey, why don't we go and grab a Dare Ice coffee instead?
We don't expect to win, but we expect to do our best. To be on call. To create new things. And even fail. Sometimes. We expect to be scrutinised too. By our competitors, by ourselves, and our peers. We don't expect to win, but we do.
Welcome back to 20 to 1 as we count down the stories Hollywood didn't want to get out. Now, it's impossible to know what a celebrity is really like just by looking at them. And that's why we need more tell-all books by celebrity offspring.
She's the personification of youth and beauty and joy and happiness. Joan Crawford.
At number 9, it's the scandalous book and movie that destroyed the memory of Hollywood screen legend Joan Crawford.
Spectacular. It's one of my favourite all-time scandals.
An icon crumbles before our very eyes.
Did you mean that as an insult?
Her adopted daughter Christina wrote the tell-all tale in 1978, 18 months after Joan's death, and it became the first celebrity book of its kind.
I don't want her growing up a spoiled Hollywood brat, just because she's Crawford's daughter.
She tried to kill her. There were some allegations of child abuse.
But the fact that this came into the public domain at a time where these things didn't was what was so shocking to many people.
We're ready for you, Miss Crawford.
And they adapted the book into a famously flamboyant film.
Nobody, not even Hitler, would deserve this. This was the worst film ever.
She was mental, clearly.
Yes, Mummy dearest.
Yes, Mummy dearest. No, Mummy dearest. Thank you, Mummy dearest.
When I told you to call me that, I wanted you to mean it.
This woman was out of her mind.
And it all came down to the wire with this scene.
Oh, coat hangers.
No more hangers!
This was nuttiness like you wouldn't believe.
You live in the most beautiful house in Brentwood, and you don't care!
What's that about? Who cares?
If someone hung anything up on mine on wire coat hangers, I'd probably hit them with them as well. I'm a little bit anally retentive about my laundry.
Jesus Christ.
Next up, the proper English gentleman who only paid lip service to decency in public.
No one wants to live with a saint. Saints are boring.
At number 8, it's Hugh Grant's infamous encounter with Hollywood prostitute Divine Brown.
The actor Hugh Grant has been arrested in Hollywood and charged with having sex with a prostitute.
Hugh Grant and Divine Brown. This one has always intrigued me, and it's probably intrigued most people
and probably will forever.
When Hugh Grant was caught in a compromising position with prostitute Divine Brown, it was the scandal that blew just about everyone away.
He was this perfect kind of English gentleman with the uptight sort of thing, getting down and dirty with Divine Brown in the back seat of a car. Whoopsie. Oh, well.
They observed the prostitute get into the vehicle and engaged in an act of lewd conduct.
What a fool, huh? What an absolute fool.
I'm trying to be positive.
This bloke, the palm, he can get any girl in the world and he goes for Divine Brown.
She looked nasty. Divine my ass.
You know, you can't eat lobster and filet mignon every night. Sometimes it has to be high with sauce.
Not surprisingly, Grant's girlfriend Liz Hurley didn't rate his off-screen performance.
I felt like I'd been shot. I think I was in shock.
She must have been looking at that mugshot of Divine Brown and going, this is what I look like. That's what she looks like. Really?
But Hugh rose to the occasion by apologising for the incident on The Jay Leno Show.
I think you know in life pretty much what's a good thing to do and what's a bad thing, and I did a bad thing, and there you have it.
It really hasn't hurt Hugh Grant's career at all.
Even if that were true, I still don't think it's necessarily something that's worth it.
Hugh Grant copped it on the chin. So did Divine Brown when you think about it.
Searchers at Catalina Island found the body of Natalie Wood floating just offshore this morning, an apparent drowning victim.
At number 7, it's the mysterious death of actress Natalie Wood, whose fall from a boat created headlines around the world.
Natalie Wood's drowning, to me, is one of those unfinished, unsolved mysteries.
Coroner's deputies say she apparently died of accidental drowning. Just how, they're not sure.
There were many conspiracy stories here about what can have happened to Natalie Wood.
We've never really got to the bottom of it.
43-year-old Wood had grown from child star to famous actress, with 39 films to her credit.
I thought we had something special.
And 3 marriages, 2 of which were to Robert Wagner.
They were one of Hollywood's favorite couples.
Also on board was fellow actor Christopher Walken.
Saturday night, they dined ashore, then returned to the yacht. A short time later, Wagner said he discovered his wife missing.
Now, after it started the rumours that there'd been a sex orgy, that she was having an affair with Christopher Walken, that there was a terrible fight, that she got pushed overboard. I mean, the story was made for the tabloids.
In the inquiry, it came out that one of the people nearby heard a woman crying out for quite a long time, calling for help.
How could a woman on another boat hear screaming and yelling for 15 minutes when Chris Walken and Robert Wagner are on that same boat and don't hear a thing?
Sus.
If we had heard something or known that something was wrong, we would have done something. What we think is that she went outside and slipped on the swim step and hit her head.
She had a few to drink and went upstairs for a bit of fresh air and tumbled over the side, knocked her head and drowned.
And the coroner seemed to agree.
Tragic accident or drowning.
And really, if it's a choice between a conspiracy theory or stupidity, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be stupidity.
There's more to come in Hollywood's Hall of Shame.
I reckon they were doing it in the trailer on the set.
Put your Woody away, Woody.
What?
I want a divorce.
Holy crap, it's every woman's worst nightmare.
No one knows what they're doing.
I just can't get enough.
This is ridiculous.
Good story.
This news break brought to you by the You Can Do It sale at your Chrysler Jeep Dodge dealer now.
Hello again. The deficit in next week's budget could be close to $60 billion and we could be in the red for another 6 years. Hundreds of police have seized drugs and weapons in raids on properties linked to the Hells Angels. And more than 100,000 drivers could lose their licences because of delays to the controversial demerit point system. Mostly sunny tomorrow, and for full details join Wendy Kingston with the late news live at 11:30.
Their ship came under attack from pirates.
Australians on a cruise line are attacked by pirates.
When it happens, see it first on 9.
What
What makes Valia the feel-good yogurt? With its unique blend of 3 active cultures, Acidophilus, Bifidus and Lactobacillus GG, Valia helps naturally regulate and maintain your digestive system. You'll just love the deliciously rich, creamy taste. Plus, there's a great choice of all your favourite flavours. So why not try Valia today and discover for yourself, when you feel good on the inside, it shows.
Rush in for Fantastic Furniture's massive May packages. You get this sofa, coffee table, lamp table and 5-piece dining for just $7.99. Wow! Only from Fantastic Furniture, the package deal kings.
In Blaxland, New South Wales, Peter's famous for his fresh produce. Every IGA is known for something different, but with 1,300 stores nationwide, they all have the buying power to save you more.
Ain't city living grand? You got internet cafes, adult shops and pepper spray. You got traffic jams, motorways, and road rages in every lane. You got toxic fumes, parking fines, buskers, muggers, mile-long lines. But best of all, says my grandma Hazel, the city's got country ladle. Country goodness through and through from a country kitchen made just for you.
There's an easier way these days. That's why at NRMA Insurance, we've changed the way you buy car insurance. We call it the unold way. Now you're in the driver's seat. Tell us how you want to save. Which level of cover would you like? Want to adjust your excess to save? Or do you want a bundle to save? Easy choices. It's the unold way. Visit us or call 132 132 and unworry.
The free power giveaway, slashing gas, electricity and hot water costs. See how your family can save a packet.
This is money for jam, free power.
Plus, he's back. Andre Rieu.
I think I have Australian blood.
Will the classical king call Australia home? A current affair tomorrow.
Welcome back to 20 to 1 as we count down Hollywood's sins and sensations. Now, the world is fascinated by the love lives of our big screen idols, but even more so when one of them might be a husband-stealing home wrecker.
Well, they're Hollywood's hottest couple, so famous they're simply known as Brangelina.
Everyone likes a little bit of a cat fight, and I think this is the world's cat fight at the moment.
I just can't get enough of Brad and Ange.
Climbing higher into the countdown at number 6, it's the Hollywood love triangle between Brad, Ange and Jen that had the tabloids in a frenzy and everyone taking sides.
You're always either Team Aniston or Team Jolie.
I'm sorry, but I'm Team Aniston.
I married him because he was the love of my life.
Brad Pitt and wife Jennifer Aniston were Hollywood's golden couple. That was until Angelina Jolie came into the picture.
They were working on Mr. and Mrs. Smith together.
And then the speculation started.
Was that a spark? Was it?
I wouldn't be attracted to a man who would cheat on his wife.
Oh, come on. Of course they were having it on.
I reckon they were doing it in the trailer on the set. Who are we kidding? Mr. and Mrs. Smith in the trailer.
So what did you decide?
I want a divorce.
What? I like it.
Everyone says she's a homewrecker. It's a good story.
It's every woman's worst nightmare. I wouldn't be letting her anywhere near my man.
If someone's into you, they're into you. If they're not, then they're going to run off with Angelina Jolie.
Very uncool, Ange.
And Jen definitely agrees.
You did say what Angelina did was very uncool.
But he asked me a question, and I basically just answered it as honestly as I could.
5 years later, and Brangelina are still the talk of the town.
Illustrated by the amount of time they've spent together, what they've done together, I think they've made the right decision.
You seem happier than you've ever been.
I dare say.
I dare see.
And praise them now, they've got about 400 kids and they own half of Africa.
I got all my sisters.
die already. I'm so over it.
It's the end.
Yeah. Certainly is.
At number 5, it's the fatal crash that ended the life of James Dean, the Hollywood sex symbol of the 50s.
Jimmy Dean, his Porsche Spider, bang, gone.
James Dean was only 24 when his Porsche Spider crashed into an oncoming vehicle, killing him instantly.
There are so many stories about what happened in the car crash. I'd always believed that he'd probably been speeding and had made a mistake.
Now I drive on the highways, I'm extra cautious. Because no one knows what they're doing. Half the time you don't know what this guy's going to do with that one.
It wasn't even him speeding in that fabulous Spider car.
The bloke oncoming speared into it.
Unfortunately, he died almost instantly, this guy. I don't think he was ever tried or nothing really happened to this guy that just sideswiped.
At number 4 is an image and story of a superstar that shocked movie lovers the world over. Not so much for the life he lived, but for the lie he lived.
He was the epitome of masculinity back then. What a name, Rock Hudson. It's a manly name.
He was tall, dark and handsome.
He was the classic American man.
But behind the macho Hollywood facade, Rock Hudson had a scandalous secret. He was gay.
Hudson, it seems, had delved into the world of homosexuality since adolescence.
But certainly, way back when he was making big time films, to be gay wasn't a thing to do.
Do you think you'd enjoy watching a girl undress?
Oh, I don't know. But I'm willing to give it a try.
Hudson has acquired immune deficiency syndrome.
Eventually, because of this illness, he had to come out and say, I'm sick and this is what I have. And in a sense, that was coming out as well.
Hudson died in 1985, a month before his 60th birthday. But his death certainly wasn't in vain.
I'm not happy that I have AIDS. But if that is helping others, I can at least know that my own misfortune has had some positive worth.
To having gone from this devastatingly handsome man to being the real first high-profile public face of AIDS was a very sort of courageous thing for him to do.
After the break, we reveal our top 3 scandals in Hollywood history.
10 designers in the biggest renovation competition ever. Who will win?
Next, new adults only 2.5 Men. At 9:30, the brilliant first series of Underbelly. Then Gordon's back in new Hell's Kitchen.
Not getting enough sleep?
Who wrote me into doing this?
Here's how to get those lost hours back.
I actually feel quite a bit better.
New What's Good For You, Wednesday 7:30, then at 8.
Belinda's new liver is failing.
I know this is not what you want to hear.
Now, the race is on for her team of doctors.
It's very risky.
To save Belinda's life.
And can surgery give Gina hands like everyone else?
I do hide them a bit.
New RPA, Wednesday at 8 after What's Good For You on 9.
There's absolutely nothing like the smell of toast in the morning. That's why I make sure I get to Woolies and get a fresh loaf first thing. Nice creamy butter and some honey. The honey, I steal that. But they're none too pleased this morning.
Railroad tracks, Bolly Wally doodle all the day, picking his feet.
the Kellogg's Crunchy Nut? Well, they are irresistibly tasty.
Out with the old, in with the new at 40 Winks. Trade in your old bed and save up to $1,400 off a new bed. Our new catalogue's out now with incredible trade-in deals. At 40 Winks, we want you to have a better bed, and now you can. On now.
When you have your period, you can't sleep the way you want. But now there's Stay Free All Nights, the only one with 18 anti-leak channels, a wider area at the back and a soft cover to give you comfortable protection. Sleep better with Stay Free All Nights.
Up to 12 times more impact in a single glance. Yes, with the new Extra Volume Collagen Mascara from L'Oréal Paris. Its unique formula with hydrocollagen creates volume inside the lash. Even more, its L'Oréal patented brush is 2 times bigger to build volume fast. Result? Up to 12 times more impact without any clumps.
Make eye impact from near or far. New Extra Volume Collagen Mascara from L'Oréal Paris.
All eyes on you, because you're worth it.
That's so. Less than $2 this week, bursting with hot girls, new stand-up gags, plus a sneaky look at Underbelly 3. Only $1.95. That's less than half price.
Whether you make pizza or party frocks, you've got to be flexible. So NRMA Business Insurance is flexible too. Build a policy that suits your small business. Call 132 818 to unpay for what you don't need and unworry.
Stay right here. Let me take care of you.
Mean it?
Do I have to mean it too?
Brand new adults only 2.5 Men. Next, then Underbelly on 9.
This program brought to you by CUA. Check out the CUA difference at cua.com.au.
Welcome back to 20 to 1 as we reach our top 3. Sadly, taking third place is a shocking accident that robbed the world of a great talent, a family of their son and brother, and a little girl of her father. At number 3, it's the devastating death of our very own heartthrob, Heath Ledger.
Breaking news this morning, heartbreaking news. Australian actor Heath Ledger has been found dead in a Manhattan residence.
And all the evidence is pointing to an overdose of sleeping pills.
It marks the tragic end of an active and promising Hollywood career.
Heath Ledger will go down as one of those Hollywood legends, taken at his prime.
You know, like he was going to be an absolute superstar.
28-year-old Ledger had made a name for himself as a Hollywood star and as father to Matilda Rose. So from the moment the story broke, the rumour mill went into overdrive.
Lots of confusion. What happened? What caused his death?
There are reports pills were found near his bed and scattered around his body.
Ledger was found by his masseuse, but suspicions were raised when she phoned Mary Kate Olsen a number of times prior to calling 911.
Why wouldn't you just call 911? What's Mary Kate gonna do?
It was all sorts of scandal. It was drugs overdose, it was cocaine, it was this. All, at the end of the day, proven to be completely wrong.
2 weeks after his death, it was concluded that he died from an accidental overdose of medications prescribed for pneumonia and insomnia.
It's even sadder because it was an accident.
Perhaps the truest story that came out was here was a guy under the most intense spotlight who was very unhappy.
And the legacy that he's left is his most brilliant role, but clearly a manic one at that.
In their last moments, people show you who they really are.
And in his last moments, Heath certainly showed just how powerful and talented an actor he really was.
Hello, beautiful.
His performance in The Dark Knight,
Heath Ledger,
winning him a number of awards.
And the Oscar goes to Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight.
Saddest story we'll get out of Hollywood, I think, for many years to come.
In the end, the one thing I have been guilty of is falling in love with Miss Farrow's adult daughter.
Moving up the countdown into number 2 is the scandalous affair between Woody Allen and family member Suni Previn.
Suni, the object of his affections, is the adopted daughter of Allen's estranged partner Mia Farrow, a girl who had been brought up to look on Woody Allen as her father.
You're unbelievable.
So wrong on so many different levels, this one.
Woody, wrong. Put your Woody away, Woody.
Why should I feel guilty about this? This is ridiculous.
Perhaps because he'd been in a relationship with Mia Farrow for 12 years and known her adopted daughter Soon-Yi since she was 9.
Love your stepkids, don't love your stepkids.
Not only is Woody Allen romantically linked to the 21-year-old, but has been for the last 7 months.
You ever hide things from me?
Apparently, the trysting in his Manhattan apartment went unsuspected until Mia discovered nude photos of her daughter.
I was so stunned. I was just like an axe fell through me.
Talk about breaking it gently.
I called his office and I said, I found the pictures. Get away from us.
I just don't understand how you could do that to Mia Farrow.
On every level, it's appalling.
Did she do tricks in bed, things I don't do?
No. We knew he was crazy.
If he spent 20 or 30 years in therapy before he did this, holy crap, how screwed up is that dude?
Clearly, you'd get your money back, wouldn't you?
You know, you can't think of that now.
Despite the very public and bitter custody battle between Farrow and Allen for their remaining children, he married Soon-Yi in 1997.
The couple, who in the eyes of many were once father and daughter, are now man and wife.
They're still together, but that doesn't necessarily make it right.
You know, you normally adopt a kid, not adopt a wife.
And that brings us to tonight's biggest scandal. A screen legend is found dead, and no one wants to believe the simple truth of how it happened. Or maybe the truth isn't so simple. Number 1 on tonight's countdown is the most controversial death in Hollywood history.
Marilyn Monroe is dead, apparently from an overdose of sleeping pills.
Good night, honey.
It was hard to believe that the world's most beautiful and famous woman had died, leading many to suspect there was a darker side to the story.
Suspicious as. How dodgy is that death?
It's so sad, and it's just something, there's so many unanswered questions with Marilyn Monroe. I want to know what happened.
Bye-bye, baby.
The conspiracy theorists love the story of Marilyn Monroe's passing because there are so many possible culprits.
There's really never a year goes by that some new theory doesn't come out about who did her in.
Mr. President, Marilyn Monroe.
Her alleged affairs with JFK and his brother Bobby led many to believe she'd been murdered by the FBI.
Happy birthday.
I can now retire from politics after having had Happy Birthday sung to me in such a sweet, wholesome way.
There was scandal going on all around Marilyn Monroe, so nothing would surprise me.
She was so whacked. I've had an illicit affair with the president. Nothing to see here. Bang.
And there were other theories that she may have been killed by the mafia, her psychiatrist, and even her housekeeper.
I don't know about the whole conspiracy theory. You don't want to believe that this beautiful, successful woman was just so miserable with her own life.
I can't talk about my personal life.
However, after 2 inquests and numerous investigations, the cause of death remains the same.
It is my conclusion that the death of Marilyn Monroe was caused by a self-administered overdose of sedative drugs.
She just took too many and went to sleep and never woke up.
Suicide or murder? No one will ever know.
You know, whatever happened to the poor thing, let's just say rest in peace.
Hollywood apparently can be a very lonely place. Well, that's all for tonight's countdown of Hollywood's biggest scandals. Join us again next time for another 20 to 1. Until then, good night. Next time on 20 to 1, it's non-stop laughs with the world's funniest people. From fast-talking wise guys...
First comedian to make comedy cool.
to side-splitting sight gags.
Swing!
We've got comics who make us squirm. And those with no sense of shame.
We're here to save you, try. Yeah!
Very funny.